Ready when you are, my friend.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bands Across the Water. I am your host, Darren Curtis. I am here for another episode, another fine episode of this fantastically technologically challenged show. I hope y'all are doing well. Happy Sunday out there, everybody. March 21st. Is that right? No, March 14th. March 14th. What am I talking about? I even wore my Cheers, my lucky Irish shirt in honor of the 17th coming up for St. Paddy's Day. So anyway, yeah, the Howard Dern Show. Welcome, everybody, to the Howard Dern Show. I have another great show in mind. This is Bands Across the Water. This is the show where I like to bring bands from North America, the United States and Canada. I cross the water, well, I guess the Detroit River. I cross the water every week to bring you an exciting new artist from either the United States or Canada. And this week is no exception. And I want to say thank you to everyone for joining me and for being here. I appreciate you all for tuning in. You can find me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Darren Curtis Drums. Also over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Darren Curtis Drums. And on my YouTube channel as well. You can find me there. It's some big, long, crazy link that I don't remember what it is. But that's okay. If you search for Darren Curtis Drums on YouTube, you can find me there and subscribe to my channel. So yeah, we are across 3 platforms live right now. Exciting show tonight. As per the norm here, around here, if you've ever... First of all, let me thank everybody that has been here since the beginning, because you guys have been awesome. You guys have been a part of it and following and keeping up with what's going on. And I sincerely appreciate it, because it means a lot to have your support in all of this. And for example, my mom, Bev Curtis, checking in on Facebook over there. Thanks, Mom. I'm happy to have you here. Rock, my buddy Rock, checking in as well from the Toronto area. My friend Matty P over in Windsor. A lot of friends. Chris Warner, thank you for checking in. We got a great band in here tonight and lots of exciting music to share with you guys and lots of fun conversation. So, that being said, I want to thank you for being here with me, and I'm just going to introduce to you who's going to be on the show with me tonight, all right? You ready for this? Let me tell you about it. On the show tonight, I have a band called Secondhand Mojo, and I think I have the entire band. I think I have all of them. So I'm excited for this. Of course, it doesn't come without its little bit of technical difficulties, Seems to be the norm. So as you could tell, we started a little late tonight. There's a reason. There's Mark. Mark's checking in from the conference room and on Facebook. Thanks, Mark. Attaboy. So I'll tell you what. I think it's probably time I introduce you guys to the band here, Secondhand Mojo, and then I'm going to explain to you all the technology. Are you guys ready to hear about all of this? So here they are. Let's bring them sort of on camera. Secondhand Mojo. Here they come. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Excellent. So let's start off by letting everybody know that I had some technology problems, and as you may or may not be able to tell yet, you will be able to tell. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the video to work properly. So at this point, they have a wonderful setup in this conference room. Everyone's got a mic. Everybody's got the headphones. They're all set and ready to go. Cameras are set up. It looks fantastic. And I cannot get Streamlabs to work properly to get their video syncing up in this in the stream. So we've managed to capture a still frame of them that looks pretty darn good. A bunch of handsome fellas over there. So I'm happy to have them on the show. So Secondhand Mojo, thank you guys for being here. It's great to have you. I appreciate y'all for bearing with my technology woes and for being here. So why don't you start by introducing the band? And I know that we can't see who's who, but I will let everybody know. We'll start with Vern over with the computer on the far right in the stream with the blue shirt on. And you can raise your hand, but they won't see it. So let's start there. Let's start with Vern in the blue shirt, and then we'll move our way left around the table. So Vern, go ahead. Nice. All right. Awesome. Okay, so let's before we go any further, they're saying that they're having difficulty hearing you. I want to see if we got it. Let's see if it's any better for everybody listening out there. Did we get it? Yeah. So I want to make sure that we have things working before we get too far. So let's see if they have something. There's no sense in us getting ahead of ourselves. A band of mimes. So you guys are not hearing them out in the stream. Is that what you're telling me? What in the world? Yeah, if that's the case, then we're gonna regroup on this. Very faint. That's interesting. I am seeing like so much level from you guys in the stream. Well, let's. So Vern, you go ahead and just like give me a couple of things into your microphone. Make sure we'll see what's happening. All right, let's see what they say. See if they can barely hear. I keep getting barely hear them. That is really interesting because I have this thing cranked up. I can see so much level from you guys. Interesting. They're telling me to take my finger off the mute button. Yeah. That's an old. I think I'm past the finger on the mute button thing. Listen, if we can't get this to work properly, we're gonna cancel the show and we'll come back. Are you guys okay with that? because I don't want to have all kinds of issues. Let's find out. Let's see what they say. Think you might have had something maybe there that you caught. Uh-huh. Gotcha. We'll see what they say. You guys getting something? I'm waiting for. I haven't seen anyone respond yet. Huh. Okay. Yeah, let's see what they say. I've had Kevin over and Twitch said it's not good yet. Try another mic, they're saying. Let's see what we get. We'll wait and see. That's really interesting, huh? Yeah, yeah, as can I. I see a lots of level. How about now? Let's see if this.
Yeah, it's coming into the studio. It's just not streaming out.
How about now? Does that help? We're trying, folks.
Does this help any? Can you guys hear better now? Maybe we have the finger on the button.
You heard me?
Yeah, and if we have to, oh, we gotta wait. Somebody just said wait.
Sweet.
Think we got it?
Heard that. Hold on, they're hearing things. Somebody's hearing something.
Oh, you can hear us now?
What you hear, Barb?
Oh,
Kevin says yes.
oh, we're getting a couple of yeses.
Yeah,
Got
right.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Even the audience goes wild.
Yeah.
That concludes the interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, this concludes our part of the craziness, right?
Good. Okay, so I think we have them now. I think
How
we
long do
have.
we have to stay frozen on this screen? I mean, we're just not moving.
Yeah, other than our video, so we have audio. See how we're getting this.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. Good. So let's start one more time. Now that I know that they can hear you guys, one more time. Let's go around the table, real quick introductions, starting with Vern in the blue shirt. They didn't hear you the first time, so let's get it out there one more time.
Sure. It's Vern Springer. I'm the lead guitar player and founding member of the band.
Hey there, I'm Chuck Ripanoff. I'm vocalist from Toledo, Ohio.
Hi, I'm Mark Andrew Speck. I'm the keyboard player and backup vocals for Secondhand Mojo.
Scott Brokaw, originally from the Flint area, second founding member of the band, and the drummer.
James Hampton, bass, currently residing in Monroe, formerly of Toledo.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really sorry that the video's not working. It's we've been having issues from the get-go. It's funny because I can go back over to the Facebook conversation that we're having, and I can see you guys moving, and everything's fine, and it's great. But then I look back over in the stream, and it's like, darn it, it's just not working for me. So I don't really.
We're not turbo attractive.
I don't.
It really is for the best.
I don't have an answer, honestly, to tell you why that it's doing that, but it's doing it, and there's nothing I can do, and I've tried, and I think I'm done. We've got our audio working, so I'm done trying anymore with the video. We're just gonna accept the fact that you guys are like still mannequins in a conference room today.
That works.
Right. Awesome. All right, well, let's start talking a little bit about the history of the band. Why don't you guys tell me sort of how this came to be and how Secondhand Mojo became a band and how it formed and what year and when and why and all the logistics.
Well, the Secondhand Mojo actually started after a previous band broke up. Scott and I have been playing together 10 years.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So longer than 13 years. So Scott's been with me for 13 years. And then when the previous band broke up, we decided we wanted to keep going. We still had things to say, and we had a bunch of songs that were previously we were working on them. And we decided to go look for other members. The first to join us is Chuck, after many auditions with vocalists, right? And then Chuck came in and was an immediate hit. He wrote on his feet. He came prepared. Right? He had a voice, right? So he had all the tools, right? He had everything we were looking for. And so Chuck stayed with us and decided he wanted to play a part. And then he brought us James, right? Which you have a relationship to James as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Absolutely.
And then I asked Mark. Mark and I both play with David Winans as well. Right? We play in David Winans' band. And so I asked Mark, I said, hey, man, we could really use a keyboard player for this new band. And he agreed, and here we are today.
Find one, so I came. Yeah. I kept looking, but I said, all right, well, until you find somebody, I'll do it.
Yeah, he agreed, and then here we are today. So this lineup, it's been over a year. It's been almost 2 years for everybody, right? Yeah. So right around 2 years at this lineup, the full lineup. In short order, we worked up the songs, went and recorded the EP, and we're playing shows. I mean, really before the EP was even thought to be a thing. And we played a bunch in Toledo. We played a little bit here in Detroit, and we've had a good time since then. So then the pandemic hit. We released an EP, and the pandemic hit. It kind of crushed everything.
It was just happening at the same
time.
It
wasn't causal, right? Yeah, absolutely. So, but the pandemic hit and kind of screwed everybody in the deal. So we've been making the best of it. We still played some shows this past year, and we did well in the college charts. With both the EP and the single that we released.
We got a new batch of songs we're excited about out of this. A lot of time to write and get together. Good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that was one thing I was going to ask: is have you guys been able to sort of take advantage of this downtime, or because a lot of bands I've noticed have sort of almost, hit the brakes on everything and just sort of like did nothing. And then there's other bands, it sounds like yourselves included, that sort of took this time as an opportunity to, advance the songs writing repertoire there,
Yeah, we were geared up for a live show in we were getting on some festivals and had some good connections getting made and so forth. So this, kind of put that to a wash for a moment. So we were our focus has mainly been on gearing up for being ready when the world's ready for that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we're getting that stuff in line. We got some good dates coming up this summer, late summer into the fall.
Good.
And some new songs to put in our set list and build it up. So
that's been the focus. Lately is the new stuff. But I will tell you this: it wasn't an immediate we're shut down for a while. Let's go ahead and start writing. Because to be honest with you, it was so crazy, and I don't know about anybody else, but I actually had a hard time getting into that space for a minute, and then once we were able to kind of convene, and discuss what we wanted to do and whatnot, it made it easier to get that. But that initial hurdle was kind of difficult. So I can see why a lot of bands just stopped, right? Sure. But since then, it's been full force, which is a lot of fun, and it's a cool place to be creatively. So.
I don't think a lot of bands thought they'd be able to hold together over the space of what became 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 5 months, and then it's a year. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't have a commitment to the project, to your music, nobody really cares. I mean, it just falls apart because it's kind of just something to do. That's not how this band works or how it stays together. There's a focus on moving forward. There's a focus on the writing, and we like what we do musically, so that it was never a thought, well, we should just can this for a year and we'll see what happens next year. The only thing we hated was the fact that, we couldn't see our friends and our fans and stuff because the train was starting to pick up speed. People were getting the name out, and we were having some very exciting live shows, and then it just all stopped, but we didn't. So we're just now kind of waiting for things to retool. But when we come back, it won't be the same Mojo. It'll be the next iteration of it with more songs and more energy and stuff. And I think everybody's chomping at the bit to get out, including the crowds.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think people are starting to the point where they want to get back out and see live music. I mean, there's no question that, in my circle of friends that they're all feeling the same way. And of course, the circle of musician friends are all feeling the same way. And I think everybody's chomping at the bit to kind of get back at it. But I especially am interested in hearing the stories of what bands are doing to kind of keep pushing forward through this time, because you kind of have a choice, right? You can do something or you can sort of do nothing, and neither one is wrong, and neither one is, is incorrect. It's just a matter of what's your band doing, and what are you guys in it for, and what are y'all about during this time?
Well, what's funny about that too, Darren, is that even before the pandemic and whatnot, we would pass ideas back and forth through our drive and all that kind of fun stuff to try and get other people thinking about it, because the writing situation here isn't, I don't come and dictate the parts, or anybody else does, right? You bring in the song that you have and the lyrics and the melody, whatever parts of it you have, and that it organically grows amongst the band, right? So that's the best part of being in a band, right? But we had already been accustomed to sharing stuff electronically. Right up to that point, we had a fairly well-developed process for that. So we weren't caught 100% off guard. I mean, it was still a weird deal, right, without a doubt. But we were adept at that, or we'd already had, kind of the ideas of this is how we'll track what we're working on or what we're trying to do. Now, are we great at that all the time? Not necessarily. I mean, that's just, part of the growing piece. But it definitely made it easier for us to cope with not being able to be in the room doing the thing at times. We sent ideas back and forth, and, or you have the conversation and reach out to each other, and that absolutely helps. So it wasn't like a reset completely, but it definitely was a refocus for sure.
We bought a lot of new gear.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Hey, shh. The wife.
Everybody. New stuff.
Yeah, the wife might be listening. Let's.
I also think we adapted because of the distance of the band members. So we've always done a lot of stuff online just to throw ideas at each other. So I think that helped.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because we don't live blocks from each other or miles from each other. We live lots of miles from each other.
I was gonna say that's a good point, because you guys are kind of spread out quite. Like, what's the distance of everybody kind of thing from each other?
Oh my goodness. From you live out.
It's about a 45-minute drive to Canton for everybody.
Everybody's about 45 minutes away from a different direction.
Except for me and Chuck, who I live like 4 blocks from here.
But that being said, that so you guys already kind of had to get used to sort of being able to toss ideas around and write music and write songs, and even probably
for sure.
Like, what about like live? Do you guys do cover songs and stuff as well?
Well, we do a couple of them. We're an original band. There's no way around it. Even the covers we do, they're not necessarily faithful recreations, but they're in the spirit of, right?
So the reason I ask, and I don't honestly quite care too much about the covers either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's not what the show's about. But the reason I ask that is, like, have you guys had to kind of venture down that way at all in the past, even pre-pandemic, with having to learn music or learn songs, learn covers during, like over the distance through the internet? Have you ever had to learn songs that way as a band?
For us, not necessarily. I mean, we did have to learn a couple covers here and there just to have them, right?
Just to fill things out a bit.
But we wanted stuff that kind of fit in our vein, anyways. And so there was some of that. But there were. I mean, we did exchange songs back and forth from Spotify links to whatever, right? More than a couple times, right? There was a couple shows just when our catalog wasn't as large as it is now. We kind of had to make some room in there for fillers, right? To get to the time length that you're looking for, right? For the shows.
Right.
So we did do a couple, but those are really the only covers that we do. And we've done a couple, and then since then I'm not doing that one again.
Yeah. So you guys are pretty much all about original music. That's it. You don't really, you'll do some covers.
Unique and fortunate thing about this group. I mean, we're all on that same page, Most bands have been in, it's, you got 3/5 of you might be into that, but then the other 2/5 want to get out and make money. I mean, immediately.
Right.
This band, everybody's on the same page with the same goal and have
We
the
don't
same
even
enjoyment
stick in
of
money.
creating.
Yeah. It's definitely that's the key.
For anyone who doesn't know, if you're in an original band, there's no money. If you're in a cover band, you tend to be paid a little bit more.
There you go.
I did a one of these. What's the name of the thing? With that Marshall and David do. I went to Chicago with them. I sat on a panel, really, essentially, where these people bring their kids, right, to talk about music and all that kind of fun stuff. And
so not the dating game.
No, not the same. No, God, that'd have been illegal actually, in most cases, right there. So anyways, we sat on this panel, and the kids, all they wanted, how can I get better at what I do? The kids had the right idea, right? But it was the parents are like, well, how can she be the next Beyonce? Or how can I make money at this? I'm like, if you're doing this for money, you're in the wrong place. Yeah. Right? This isn't the thing to do it for. You do it because you absolutely have to do it, and you don't know any other way to live. Right? If you're a musician in any way, shape, or form, with money as the motivation, right, you're the wrong guy.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong place. Yeah, because it just never works out.
And I think, in a lot of cases, any musicians that started out at a young age, you don't look at it as, I didn't start playing the drums because I was thinking about money. I started playing the drums because I loved the instrument,
Oh, I was thinking girls, but cool. Yeah.
No, that's the keyboard player.
I'm a keyboard player. I'm just thinking about more gear.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me just real quick. Sandy King over on Facebook says that you guys are an awesome band and great people.
That's nice. Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy, someone we've never met. Right?
Yeah,
we don't know Sandy, and you can't prove shit.
Hey, no swearing. This is a family show.
Well, I'm sorry, you can't prove stuff.
Stuff.
Don't use the word stuff.
Yeah.
And also, Mark, you raised a point there on Facebook that any questions? Yeah, if you guys have any questions for these guys, by all means, fire away. I always like to, have some questions from you guys, keep you involved and part of the show. And if you are just tuning in, it's a secondhand Mojo, and unfortunately, we had some technical issues with the video feed at my end, and I couldn't seem to get them into the feed to work properly. So, unfortunately, we're stuck with this still image, but fortunately, they all look extremely handsome tonight anyway. So we're fine.
Are you substituting a picture of a different band?
I really can't explain it, but it is what it is. So at least we've got the audio up working. Everything is happening, and apparently the keyboard player is married. I don't know.
So's his wife.
That's what it says.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well,
Hi,
thank
Jan.
you for tuning in over there. Is that Jan?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for tuning in, Jan. I appreciate it.
She's always hitting on me.
Yeah. Aggressively. It's amazing.
Well, that's great. So let me talk a little bit about with James for a second, because he's the guy that I knew of the bunch prior to meeting you guys for the show and last week when you tuned in. So James and I kind of go back, I guess it was a few years ago now, probably 3 years ago.
2 years ago. Probably 2017 or something like that.
Yeah, so we actually started kind of jamming in a band with a couple of different people that didn't last very long, but that's how we met. And I'm really, I'll be honest, James, I was really happy to hear that you got into this project and that you were continuing to keep playing, because you're a great player and you sang great. And I always had a lot of fun with you. You and one of the other fellas in the band was always great. But yeah, I was really happy to see that you were carrying on and moving forward. And so how for you, how's this band treating you? How's it feel to be in an all original band and recording and kind of moving forward past all of that mess?
Remember, we can hear you.
Well, it was a new sort of an unexplored territory for me. So I'd always been sort of a fill-in, a hired gun. I could be with a traditional country band, blues, jazz, anything, right? Just playing in a variety of different groups, just sort of as a fill-in, doing covers and such. And I had reached a point in my career where, I hadn't really done originals before. And I had known Chuck from back in the day. We played in the Toledo scene way back when,
right,
years back, and hadn't really maintained close contact, but we still knew each other from Facebook. And he contacted me and said, "Hey, we haven't talked in like 15 years, but there's this original band I'm doing." I said, "Well, I'll check it out." Again, I had never really been in an original band, not since high school.
Right.
And so it wasn't, but the first rehearsal or two, and I was like, "Wow, these are really good songs." And everybody was a really good. Not only good musicians, good people. There was a good attitude. There wasn't any, crazy conflict or red flags. Usually get those. There was nothing like that. This could
Sometimes
go
those
well.
red flags don't take very long to reveal themselves.
No, they don't. They don't. But sometimes, and like them, I'm just into practicing the art and science of being a musician and a bass player. I'm not in it for really not much reason other than that, And so this was just, again, it was unexplored territory. I had never been in an original group before.
And Darren, playing with James, you obviously the guy's a player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great bass player.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So-
and that's why I was really happy to hear that he was doing something because of the project that him and I were involved in. And I know he's been doing stuff prior to that, and he's been doing this for a long time. But yeah, he was never really in an original band, and he was always in my experience, a great player. Loved to be on stage, loved the whole everything about it. The collaboration, the camaraderie, all that stuff. And so for me, I was really glad to hear that he was kind of in something else, and because he deserved it, and then to know that it was an original band, and that was great for me to know, because I really liked the time that we had.
The James Hamptons. We were going to call it the James Hamptons, but that was already taken.
James and the Hamptones.
And that made us feel good. Like when we,
we definitely put a hard sell on him, though. We did.
When
there was a lot of pressure going
if
on.
the music passed, James is in a good way. He likes good music. He likes what he likes. And for our music to catch his ear, that felt good.
Yeah.
I will tell you with each one of the guys, like I say, Scott had played together for forever, but when Chuck came in, he contributed something different that I didn't necessarily hear in my head, but it fit perfectly right away. Right. When James came in, he contributed to our originals too. It wasn't just like playing eighth notes and and vamping and stuff like that. He actually contributed something musical to it right away. And then, and I remember the minute, it's that kind of deal on both of them. And then when Mark came in, it was the same thing. I remember the minute that I went, oh yeah, he gets it. This makes sense. And it sounds like what it should sound like.
It's funny.
Right?
It's funny. It doesn't take a long time sometimes when you sit a bunch of musicians in a room and you start playing together to realize, hey, wow, there's something here. Like I can feel something.
Yeah.
It's not just like a fill-in guy going through the motions, and we may or may not see you next week.
Right.
There's something about that moment when you kind of realize, and a lot of times it doesn't take long. You can just feel it.
Oh, it definitely is. It's obvious when it happens, right? If you've been in enough situations, you realize when it doesn't happen, or when it sort of happens, but it's not really the same thing. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody has a different background, but it is flexible at the same time. So it could be, like maybe a little bit more jazzy in my thinking, and blues, classic rock, very melodic, and you bring all this stuff together, and it becomes its own thing that's kind of greater than the sum of the parts, so to speak.
Which is how the type of music we play, rock and roll, came together anyways, right? It all came from all these disparate areas, right? What's kind of cool. So it's just it's the same process over and over and over again. So
we got really lucky, I think, that it translated to the live show too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was also like, I think our first show was like, man, this feels good.
Yeah, it felt good. Obviously, it wasn't what it should be. It wasn't what it is today, right? But it's funny. There was definitely something there, and the people responded. That was the other thing too.
Yeah.
And I don't know about anybody else, but you guys have heard me say this forever, but I'm always amazed when anybody likes anything that Yeah, I do. Right. It's one of those things, really, honestly, because you're like, well, this started out, sitting on my couch, right, with nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
That's one of the greatest feelings, though, isn't it? Like when as a band, when you create something and you look out into the crowd and there's people that are like actually enjoying what you've made,
Yeah.
As a band, that's a reward.
Well, and it can be within the band as well, like Chuck alluded to, right? When the other guys get it and latch into it, you go, oh wow, that's crazy! I can't believe anybody else likes this stuff, right? And then
that's it.
It's just such a neat feeling, right?
What I find is when you get your original music, then you fill the dance floor with your original music that nobody knows. That's the kind of
right. That's great.
Volumes of your music. So.
It's just like other art forms, like a chef who people come to his restaurant for his particular dishes, or they come to the art gallery for this painting's artist, or that artist's painting, or they come to the show for your music.
It's a blessing, similar. Right? Isn't it like one of the greatest blessings we can have as artists is to create something and have people that actually gravitate to it?
Well, it's cool because it's like the connective tissue, right? You know what I mean? It's just a neat thing, right?
For sure.
The other thing too that amazes me is that when people will go, oh, you guys wrote those?
Yeah.
Right? You get that a lot. Oh, you guys, they sound, you guys wrote those?
That's an original song?
Yeah. So, and it's funny when other bands do it, right? We play with the guys from Live Bullet Detroit. We've done a couple of shows with them, and the first show we played with them, we got off. That's the first question, from them. Dude, those are your guys' songs? I'm like, yeah,
that's great.
Those aren't covers. I'm
right.
like, nope, not covers. So
Jan, cool. She loved the intro to the show. She said she loved my intro. Well, thanks, Jan. I appreciate that, and thank you, Mark, as well for saying that I have a great idea for the show. I appreciate that. It's unfortunate that the technology gets the best of it sometimes, but we're hanging in there. And apparently Sandy King is hot, according to Scott.
It's in this contract, yes.
And Mark, to answer your question, yes, I have kind of been sort of playing with grabbing some different screen captures.
Let the guys in the band know he's grabbing different screen captures of us. So
behave ourselves.
Yeah. So when Chuck had his hand up his nose, it's
well,
on the screen. I just wanted to tell you.
It's not like I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just trying to get it to work, and it just every so often it'll capture a different capture.
One refresh per minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't really explain why it's doing what it's doing, but at the end of the day, it's doing it, and whatever. It is what it is.
It's not perfect, but it's rock and roll, right?
Yeah, and I don't think anyone is really, overly upset or concerned about it. I think it's okay that, it is what it is. We're making the best of a situation that we can't really control right now. So.
Yeah. And we're a band that's got, the look that's meant for radio, really.
Yeah, you got a face for radio, right? Well, that's all right then. That's good. I have a whole other scene where I had here. You guys won't be heard for a second, but hold on. Let me just go to this. So you guys can't hear the band right now, but I could just keep it on this scene. They have no idea what's going on, but I could keep it on this scene where we see some fancy pictures of them scrolling on by. You guys want to just stay here and chat amongst ourselves, and we'll just leave the band behind? What do you say? No, we'll get back to them. Let's do that.
It's probably for the best.
I had some moving images of you guys. That was about as best as we could get for moving.
Yeah, I'm watching you on the iPad. That's good.
That's very cool.
That gives something for them to watch.
Right. All right. Yeah. Hey, perfect. Look at this. My buddy Chris Warner, he's checking in from London, Ontario. And the first thing he just said was, how about a tune?
Sure.
Yeah, we like tunes.
I think that's a great idea, Mr. Warner. What do you say we play a song, guys? So why don't you guys tell me about this first video I'm going to play? I have the song that I was using in the little advertisement that I was...
Oh, Saturday night.
So why don't you guys tell me about the song, and then we'll head into the video.
Well, I mean, you can probably feel it. I mean, it's a song we've closed every show out with.
Yeah, that's our closer.
It's just a natural closer. Mm-hmm. It's about a night, 2 nights in Nashville. Went down to Nashville with my wife and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and we just had a heck of a time. And it's about walking up the 4th floor to Tootsie's on Broadway there, and just having a good time in Nashville. That we did it one night, and we got to keep it going to the second night, to Saturday night. So
nice. All right. Well, this song is called Saturday Night, you guys. This is Secondhand Mojo. This is going to be the first song of 3 that we have tonight in store. So you guys stick around. Lots of exciting stuff to come up. And if you have any questions, by all means, throw them in the chat, and I will be happy to ask the band any questions you guys have. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in to Bands Across the Water here on Sunday night at 7 p.m. And here is our first song. This one's called Saturday Night, Secondhand Mojo. Check it out, you guys.
Streets are packed, cars are stacked, there's
Anybody asks us what kind of music we do, I always
yeah, gentlemen. Great song. Saturday night. Check that song out, huh? What do you think of that?
Oh, I like it.
As do I.
It's
Great
the way
song,
we
you
end our
guys.
live shows. Yeah, we end our live shows with that one because it can be extended to as long as people still have energy, they can keep dancing.
Awesome. Yeah, great tune. I'm just catching up on the chat. Make sure we didn't miss any questions or anything out there. My buddy Rock says, nice job. The production, the sound, everything is spot on. The mix is great, he said. Awesome. Thanks, Rock.
Oh, excellent. So Rock, that was recorded at Plymouth Sound Recording here, right by us, right not far from where we're sitting right now, right? And
where did you say, sorry?
Plymouth Rock Recording.
Gotcha, yeah. Chris
Yeah,
Priest,
Studio we
right?
use.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Ryan Hyland, Toby, do you know Ryan?
I don't think I do. Maybe, but not sure.
So Ryan's the guy who actually works with us. He's our engineer / second ear to hear and all that fun stuff. So it's a comfortable situation for us. I like working with Ryan. He's got the same sick sense of humor the rest of us do. So
Good.
it works out. It makes it an easier situation.
It does, right?
We talked about this last week, or we were texting about this last week in your piece with Marshall. What was the last name again?
Marshall
right?
Brooks, yeah, last week.
Marshall Brooks, great singer, by the way.
Yeah,
It was a lot of
he's
fun
great,
listening to him. Yeah, so we were talking about the comfort level in the studio and stuff like that, and the personnel and the people and all that makes a huge difference, right? So because that can be fairly pressure cooked, especially when you're throwing money on the table, saying let her ride and see what happens, right? So,
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Chris Warner says it's a mix, a little bit of gritty, a little bit of raw, and a whole lot of catchy as hell. Loved it.
Oh, that's very nice. That's awesome.
Song sounds great, Jan says. I'm guessing she's a little biased too, huh?
Yeah. Jan who?
Jan who?
We don't know Jan or Sandy.
Rock, he's great. He says, even on a Sunday night, that works for me.
Oh, very cool. Thank you very much.
Right on. Mike Jubenville checking in from Windsor, another awesome keyboard player, fellow musician, says it's awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for being here, too. Appreciate you hanging out.
Well, there's an EP available, so if you like this stuff, you definitely go to, where's the best place?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about that for a second then, shall we? Where do we find your music?
Okay, so for purchase, right, it used to be CD baby, but you can't do that anymore, right? So you can go to the Apple Music, right? You can go to Spotify if you want to hear it. Bandcamp
for physical CDs.
Yeah, for physical CDs.
Yeah.
Right. Amazon has it. Right. We can ship through Amazon and all that fun stuff too. So really, anywhere you get physical music nowadays, you can get it. Right. As far as downloads and whatnot, we're in all the streaming services. All that good stuff. So any of that, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, YouTube Music, one of the ones are out there. Pandora. I think we're even on Pandora and some of these other ones. Yeah. So essentially every streaming music service. Yeah.
Great.
Or come out to any of our live shows. Oh wait.
Yeah. We
You
would
can go
love
to
to.
Mark's house. Yeah. You would just send it
We
to
will
Mark's house.
deliver. Just tell us you want a CD. We'll just come over to your house and hand it to you.
There you go. That's a good deal. So if you guys are looking for a hand-delivered CD from Mark, the keyboard player.
There you go.
It's like the Gene Simmons box set what they did where you throw up with that giant thing. So first, here's a cue, he goes, all right, here you go.
He pulls up on a Yugo.
Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. Yeah, exactly. He throws it out the window.
It was a secondhand Yugo.
Nice. Where's the rim shot? Come on, man.
Sorry.
I feel like we're being cheated. No video, no rim shot.
Finally, someone that appreciates my sound effects.
There you go.
I don't know that I've ever had anyone actually ask for sound effects on the show before, so I appreciate
Nobody requested
that.
sound effects.
I appreciate it more than you know. Someone did actually ask earlier. I don't know who it was. I want to see if I can scroll back up and catch the name. Dennis did. Dennis Malloy. I don't know if you guys know Dennis Malloy, but he said, is there any future gigs in
Never
store?
met him. Nope. Yes. Yeah.
I typed in a few of them, but Chuck, you can talk. Chuck's talking to his broker right now.
No, type in where it's at. Let him know.
He said,
We play a place called Howard's in Bowling Green, Ohio, which is really nice. It's right on the campus. And that's coming up in May. And I know they're looking for, we're negotiating a date in April, which is probably going to be in the Toledo area, because we play a lot of gigs down there, which is interesting. There is a lot of good places to play in Toledo, probably more so than the Detroit area, which is amazing.
For original music, for sure.
For original music, because when I first started out, which was a few years back, there were all sorts of freaking places to play. I mean, there were clubs everywhere, and that's how we got to be as good as we became. It's because we could play all the time. That whole scene passed away in Detroit, but when I joined Mojo, and Chuck started bringing in all these dates. They were all in Ohio, and they were all great little clubs and plenty of good people and really good response. Mm-hmm. Very impressed with Toledo. Where living in Detroit, you'd always been told you don't want anything to do with Toledo. But now that I've been down there and saw what they have going, I feel really bad that people in Detroit don't realize 40 minutes down the road, there's something to do.
Well, and they embraced us right away. Yeah. Right. That was the cool part, right? From the very first show. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of what, like the Royal Oak area used to be, right? And all that kind of fun. And the music scene on the east side was that way at one point. And they were really, really welcoming. Everybody's been super cool to us. I mean, I don't know that we've had any negative experience really, except for maybe one.
Cool thing. One show led to the next. You know, what I mean, it's to Q's point. Well, I don't know, played 5 different venues down there. In just a matter of 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think our material fits. It's very sort of like like neoclassic rock is what I always call it. It's very, very Midwest and fits right in with that 70s, 80s kind of a stylistic, which people like.
That's the way when we've talked to the radio stations and stuff like that, and they ask you to kind of pigeonhole yourself. So we're at Midwest classic rock is what we call ourselves.
That's kind of what you kind of put yourselves into the Midwest classic rock sort of genre.
Yeah, because if you grew up in this area, in Windsor counts, right?
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
London and all these areas count, Toronto. But if you grew up in the Midwest, during the 70s and 80s or whatnot, this will sound vaguely familiar to you, right? Or it feels like it fits in that spot as well. If you like Thin Lizzy and Journey and all that kind of fun stuff, and everything in between, that's kind of where we were, right? So
gotcha. Which is
and
good.
I think
That's
that
good.
comes out of us, right?
It's not always easy to sort of, have a place that you go to for the first time, or an unfamiliar territory, and actually sort of have people that latch on, and sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, and it's a little unnerving sometimes as a band coming into a new place or a new city, a new venue. And it's always really nice when you're, welcomed warmly, and the turnouts are great, and people can relate to your music and enjoy your music. I think that's kind of one of the coolest things is when you can do that. You just randomly pull into some venue and all of a sudden you got some fans.
It's very cool, right? It's when you leave with the fans, too. That's the other part, too. Right? It's always nice. Right?
Nobody bothers you in the parking lot. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's always. That now I understand the whistle. Yeah.
My mom over there on Facebook, she says musicians. I think she meant musicians. She said magicians, but I think it was a typo.
Well, that's
musicians have a whole lot of energy and are always happy. What do you think of that? Would you guys agree?
Well,
hey,
your mom said so. We're gonna just go yes.
We love her.
It is Bev, right? Yeah.
That's Bev. Yes.
Yeah.
We love Bev.
Thank you, Bev.
Thank you, Bev. That's very nice. Actually, I think if you like the band that you're in, you have the energy and you're happy. You're not always happy. Nobody's always happy. But if you like the music, we had a whole bunch of different rehearsals with different projects and stuff over the last couple of weeks. And Vern and I talked about it when we walked away. We just said, at the last Secondhand Mojo project, we just said, man, that was actually a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. That was like the most fun I've had in a rehearsal in quite a while, because it was just fun playing the songs. Yeah. And so if you like playing the songs, then it's not a rehearsal. It's a band jam. It's fun.
And let's face it, not everybody has a lot of spare time, right? So you're going to spend them with people you want to hang out with, right?
Yeah. I think that's exactly
and that makes a huge difference. It doesn't
mean bands too, where we don't like certain individuals in the band. So this is more of like a friendship. Mm-hmm. We just haven't played music together.
Yeah.
So
it makes it easy to come in. Yeah, it makes it easy to come here every time. And we've heard from other bands go, "Oh, you guys rehearse a lot." Well, yeah. Yes, because you want to get better, and two, because it's fun to hang out with the fellas, right, and work on this kind of craziness, right? It's just one of those deals, right?
We've said for years, so it's like our bowling night.
Yeah.
It's like your what? Sorry.
People,
Our bowling night.
A lot of people go bowling. We play music.
That's great. That's a great analogy. I was just going to ask you guys this. Does any of you, and I feel like I already know the answer to this, does any of you guys have any other side thing that you do besides like, your day job or the band? Like does bowling or in a hockey team or, anything?
Not anymore.
I have 4 bands, if that means that's the rest of my time.
Well, yeah, we play in other bands.
Sure.
I mean, but it's not like a real side gig. Like it'd be easy to drop the other to go back to what I need to do. Right.
Right.
So so it's
It's fun, man. I mean, we all like sports.
I don't.
Hunting and fishing.
Everyone likes James.
James like, no, I just want to play the bass.
Ask him to be on your time, on your team.
I had 4 older brothers. Not once was there a sporting event on in my house growing up.
Wow, that's interesting.
But you're right there. I've been in bands before where a couple of guys would have like other hobbies that they dedicated time to, and in reality, I think any of us, as we get into families and kids and so forth, that you gotta kind of choose one at a time at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
At a
Well, it's
certain
always
time.
family. It's been family first with us.
Yeah.
So family first, and then we work everybody's schedule out. So
Right.
it's been
Well,
sometimes difficult, but we make it work.
And the fact that you guys, in what I see anyway, you guys are all doing this for the right reasons. Like you all have a genuine love for music. You all have a genuine love to play music, and obviously to create music. And so that in itself is a great recipe for success in the sense of enjoying what you do and just enjoying your time together. Whether it's successful in a money way, that's a whole other. I don't even care about that as much as I do about enjoying my life.
Well, music keeps you young too. Serotonin gets produced in your brain when you're having fun, and if the music excites you as a player, there's a very good chance it's going to excite the listener as a listener. So that's the whole thing about playing music, and you can do that till you can't do it anymore. That's one thing about music. You can be infirm, you can have injuries, you can have a lot of other issues going on, but if you play, you can usually still play. Even you may not have the licks that you had when you were young or the energy you had, but you can still play, and you can do that up until you're done.
Right.
And that's what God gives you. He gives you those talents and just gives you a way to use that to keep yourself going. And if you're staying young by what you're doing, somebody around you is going to hear it, and it's going to make them feel better. And that just keeps that nice little cycle going.
It's a great answer. Yeah, I totally, completely agree. Let me ask you guys this: first concert. What was your first concert? Your first big concert?
Beach Boys. It was in Arlington, Texas, after a baseball game.
Nice.
They played after the Rangers did. Yeah.
What year?
97.
Oh, so you were really young.
Did the audio just freeze? I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure I heard 1970 something.
Yeah. It's 1979.
I was Huey Lewis in the News on the FORE, FORE, the FORE tour. So that takes you back with that.
Nice.
That was a great album too.
That was a great album.
Where did you see him?
Jacob's Ladder, man. I love that song.
That's a great song.
Yeah. Where at?
Centennial Hall was the Rocket, that one UT campus there, the arena there.
Love it.
Robert Cray Band.
Oh, another great band.
Cool.
Tower of Power came in on the horns with Huey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was a cool show. Yeah.
Cool.
That had been a hell of a show.
It was great.
So, here you go, Q.
I passed.
Here goes Hondo's Messiah live.
David on the harp.
Is this the keyboard player that was picking on the drummer earlier?
It is. We're getting it back for you.
Sorry, I had to hit the laugh track.
I'll beat you.
There you go. Because I went to a seminar about the lost chord.
10 Commandments ring a bell?
What do you got, Scott?
My first concert was Bon Jovi in Skid Row. Big concert at Joe Louis. I was I was a senior in high school maybe. Never really did big concerts. Other than that, I was too busy hunting, fishing, playing my own concerts, playing ball. But it was exciting. Lay Your Hand on Me tour.
Nice. And that would have had the original Sebastian Bach still in the band and everything at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Good Canadian guy right there.
Skid Row was on, yeah. So
yeah. Bon Jovi kind of put them on the map, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, they did specifically,
He
right?
found,
They helped
yeah,
him sign.
Bon Jovi found him.
Same with Cinderella too. Actually, I think Bon Jovi had
Yes.
a
Yep.
big hand in
Yeah.
putting them on the map.
But what an underrated band.
Cinderella.
I love
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
Cinderella.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I remember seeing them
Yeah.
with Jovi actually when they came around on the Slippery When Wet tour at
Tom,
Joe Louis. I think
Yeah.
it was actually. Now that you say that. Yeah.
I've read the book.
did you? I saw the cartoon. So Tom
It's-
Tom Kiefer just released an album too this past year during the craziness, and
Yep.
it's at a certain time it's time to leave the dance. I don't know that this is the best representation.
Well, he's
of him.
still. I haven't heard any of the record, but he's still touring and he's still
Oh, yeah.
selling places out. I'm not saying he's doing arenas, but
It was the video you put out and stuff like that didn't do him any justice. It hurt him more than helped him.
gotcha.
So-
And his son actually plays guitar for Tantric. Not his son. Jeff LaBar from Cinderella. His son is in Tantric, the band Tantric.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he
Well,
plays
very
guitar.
cool.
I don't know
I've
if you-
seen Cinderella live a couple times, and their
Yeah.
show was just perfect.
they were great. I loved them back in the day.
Just from
Yeah.
the musicianship to sound
I
quality,
used to
everything's
like,
just
I dig that song
It's
"Save
like
Me,"
band.
right?
Save Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, great song.
It's a great song. Yeah.
I heard "Coming Home" up on the way here.
Did you really?
So, yeah.
That's crazy how they're
Yeah.
popping up again. You know,
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had a sound that kind of could drive them through the grunge.
Yeah.
They just had a little different to them, that little blues rock that wasn't just that quote unquote hair metal kind of stuff. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
So it was a little gnarlier kind of.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
not quite as incendiary as Great White.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward pun.
So who did we miss? Did we miss James?
James.
Yeah, mine probably would have been Dio or maybe Iron Maiden growing up. But
That's awesome.
Hold on. Wait.
yeah.
Hold
It was
on.
the 80s.
Hold on.
Somewhere
Stop.
in
Stop
somewhere in
right there.
time.
Wait 1 second. Did you say Ronnie James Dio?
Yeah.
Or Iron Maiden.
Was
Iron
it?
Maiden.
Do you know if
That's awesome.
Do you know which one it was?
Banger hurt.
It would have been. It was somewhere in time. I saw that.
No,
that
but do you
tour,
know whether it was Maiden or Dio first?
No, because in high school I only went to a few concerts because one, I was always gigging, and I had an older brother who was in a popular band, and I was always going. He played all the Kips clubs all over the place, all throughout the 80s, and did the I-75 tour up and down. And so I was always going to my older brother's shows or in my own group. So I only went to a handful of concerts in high school.
But you don't know which came first, Ronnie James Dio or Iron Maiden?
No, because they were about the same time frame. It might have been the Dio concert.
All right, hold on now. I'm going to stop you right there. Was it 1985 at Cobo Hall Sacred Heart Tour?
Would have been Sports Arena, and it would have been probably a little later than that.
All right, never
I
mind.
never
then.
saw this coming.
Never
The
mind.
Sports Arena's
Jazz.
they're wonderful acoustics.
My first concert was Ronnie James Dio at Cobo in 85. So that was pretty sweet.
I like Ryan.
Well, I did see the Grateful Dead right before Jerry's passing as they came. I think it was at I forget what Cobo Hall or wherever it was, that big arena up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
Chris
was
Warner
an
over there, he says
interesting
he just trumped all of them with Dio and Maiden.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's
show.
great.
Yeah, somewhere in time. Well, that was a metalhead in high school.
Yeah,
Nice.
I hear you, brother.
I love it.
Still like Ugly.
He's the most relaxed guy in the band. That's my favorite part about it, right? James is just
Stand-up bass.
everything is just cool. Yeah,
That's great.
when he's not around, I call him Miles because Miles likes jazz.
It's an evolution.
Miles likes to wear the gloves with the fingers cut out.
That's great. Jan, thank you so much. She says she loves the positive energy. Thank you very much. I do
Oh, my
appreciate
goodness.
that. It's very nice. All right, so I think we should get to another song. What do you guys think?
Sure, why not?
Let me see. What do I have here queued up next? Open Up Your Mind. Why don't you guys tell me about this one?
Oh, all right. Well, I'll start, and then I'll hand it off to Chuck. So this is the most recent single we did, and it was during the pandemic. This is kind of we got back together and said, we should record this thing, and because all the craziness was going on, and he had brought it in previously with an acoustic track, just an acoustic part, and said, "Hey, can we try this?" And I got this thing here, and so I think he'd written it quite a while prior.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
A year and a half prior, probably.
So it took us. This was a song that we liked, but it took us a minute for it to reveal itself to us, if you will,
Uh-huh.
right? Because from what the acoustic is, which by the way, I came across it the other day too. The acoustic
wow.
track is yeah. So what it started out with musically and to where it is now are radically different things. However, the lyrics, the melody, the chords, all that fun stuff was already there. It's just a matter of the parts that you played that made a huge difference. But it it took a while. Remember, it was hard to find it. Yeah, it took a minute to find itself for sure. But once it did, it was like, oh, wow. And then this is the first one, too, where we all kind of really let her rip on the background vocals and whatnot. I mean, we had backing vocals previously, and when we recorded this, and it was in the promo video, it was actually the four of us standing around a mic singing. Right, old school, you know, which is, you know, because the harmonies are deep and thick, and we thought this would be kind of a cool way to show it. And when we were talking about going out to do the backing vocals, Ryan goes, "What do you want to do? Do you want 4 mics? Do you want 1 mic? What do you want to do?" We're like, "Well, we practiced it like 1 mic, right? Let's go ahead and do it that way." And we did, and it was a riot, right? There's something about standing facing each other and listening to each other and blending like that just it's awesome, right? And when I say that, I legit am the worst singer in this band by a lot. so when it comes in where you can hear me and I sound okay, right? You know, then there was something happening that was, you know, otherworldly, right? So, but I'll turn over to Chuck.
You know, I don't want to say too much. I mean, the lyrics, it'll be a lyric video, and I just want the lyrics to speak for themselves. I mean, people will get it. You know, it's open up your mind and let me in. Let's give the respect. Listen to me. I'll listen to you. Let's give the respect we deserve. And
it absolutely has a great message in the song, for sure. I do love the message in this song. All right, let's play this, guys. Here it is. Open up your mind. Secondhand Mojo. Check it out.
I'm not shy about heated debate or passionate discourse, but when people get crazy or rude, that's a buzzkill. There's got to be a better code of conduct. Some basic etiquette.
No, you're not my kind. Yeah, you never will be. As long as you keep on spitting that hate, get on out of my life. It's another time. Like it ever will be. We're further apart when we wear our heart right up on our sleeve. So listen to me, I
right, great song from Secondhand Mojo. I think that was a really good song. Great message. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Let's see, that was called Open Up Your Mind. My friend James Todd. Hey, folks, late to the party. Wanted to still stop in and say hello. Thank you for tuning in, James. Always a pleasure. James is in a band called Abandoned Souls, who was the first guest I ever had on the show back on November 1st, episode number 1. So thank you for being here, my friend. Yes, Chris Warner, I agree, right? Yeah, it's got a great hooky Bon Jovi sound to these guys. I agree 100%. Yeah, great song. So I just wanted to take a minute and let you guys know, as you all know, I've had a couple of times where I had Johnny Rabb from Collective Soul scheduled to be on the show. And technical difficulties and some family things got in the way both times. But I am super happy to say that we finally have it locked down again for next week. I'm excited.
Let's go. We're ready.
Everybody, next week, Johnny Rabb from Collective Soul will be on the show, Bands Across the Water, Sunday at 7 p.m. Be sure to join me.
Hold me up to all of you to see.
That's right. Johnny Rabb from the great band Collective Soul joining me next week on the show. I'm super excited to have him in. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys for tuning in. You rock as well. My buddy Kevin Westmix EBX over there on Twitch. You rock too, brother. Yes, rock, my friend. He is coming next week. I'm excited. Yes, Abandoned Souls does rock, indeed. In the meantime, we are back here with Secondhand Mojo, and I'm going to get back to the guys on camera. I think they're here with me now. Oh, look it. They're here with me now. You know what? They could do whatever they wanted, and they would always be here with me, wouldn't they? Welcome back, you guys.
We can't hear you, though, Darren.
You can't hear me. Interesting.
It shouldn't have changed.
Wow. Huh. All right. I think they can hear me in the stream, so let me see if I can figure out what happened.
Hey, Darren, we can't hear you, buddy.
Okay. All right. 1 second.
He does. He's still talking.
Interesting. I don't know why they can't hear me, but they say they can't hear me all of a sudden. Can you hear me now? No? Interesting. I don't know. Nothing changed as far as I know. Nothing, huh?
All right, Steve.
What's going on? Here, all I can do is laugh. Yeah, I don't know how you guys lost my audio.
Who's talking to us, man?
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I can turn it up here and you can hear it.
We got nothing either against him.
What if he can hear us? I mean, obviously.
He can hear us.
Can't hear you.
Why can't you guys hear me now? What the heck is going on? How did that even happen? Let's try this. Hello? Let's try this. Hello? Hello? Hello, 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 hello.
He said he could hear us.
Oh, my. Isn't this fun? See how much fun we have on the show? Isn't this so much fun? Let's try this microphone. Let's try this one. How about that one? You got anything?
Nope.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
But they can't.
You know what's going to happen? All of a sudden, Vern's going to be like, I got it. He's going to be like, I figured it out. You watch. You watch. It's not even something at this end, I don't think. It could be at my end. I mean, it could be at anyone's end. How about now? Anything? No, nothing. They have nothing. We have no audio. Yes, they can hear me in the stream. Okay, hold on. I'm about to send them a message. Oh, you hear both of us. They're hearing, but you can't. Isn't that crazy? They can't hear me, though. Hold on. I'm gonna let them know.
That's amazing.
Watch this. I'm gonna call Vern. Right now.
Adventure.
I'm gonna call Vern. I'm gonna call him. Hold on. Watch this. I'm gonna call him. I know I got his number somewhere. This
Make up answers.
will be good. I'll put him on speakerphone. The technology is gonna get better. Watch this. This will be great.
I'm Darren from James. Tell us more about Ronnie James' deal.
Yeah.
What was he wearing?
Tights.
I'm gonna call him. Hold on. It's funny because you guys we can't hear each other, but
It's a little uncomfortable.
Well, James is much taller too, and
Yeah,
he was a very tiny.
He's only
young
about
man.
4'9".
Yeah. So
here we go. Watch this.
this is fantastic.
This is great.
Okay, so this is going to go down as like one of your craziest shows ever. I'm going to assume, right?
Yeah.
For technical reasons.
Watch this.
Who's calling me?
We got his phone here. Nicely done.
Hey, bud, what's happening?
Oh, hey, what's happening?
First time caller. Long time listener, first time caller.
Long time listener, first time caller. You're on the radio with Secondhand Mojo.
Hi, Vern.
What can
Welcome
we
to
do
the
for
show.
Hey, you too.
So here, let me tell you what's going on. And apparently, they can hear you in the stream, but you can't hear me in the stream.
Correct.
I feel like it's the same thing that happened the last time, where when you had to click something, because I
checked that first.
I am seeing everything at my end is perfect. Like they can hear you in the stream. I can hear you.
That's awesome.
Like everything is. I see your signal. They can hear me. This is great. So let's just carry on this way, shall we?
Hang on. I'm going to put you on speaker here.
Yeah, put me on speakerphone. Why not?
Or I'll just talk to you. Nobody else gets to. That seems like another option.
This is too funny.
Hang on 1 second. Bud.
This is going to go down as the episode of.
Here we go. Here's everybody here. So,
this is going to get messy.
This is fantastic.
If there's a will, there's a way, right?
Well, we were just going to make up answers to questions that we thought you would ask, right? So it's funny you asked that. No one ever asked that question, and it is true, right? That most of this came to us in a dream, right? Fever dreams, is that what they call it still? I don't remember. You guys have to help me out. We can ad lib like this for hours, right?
Richard Dessian says that we're here on both sides, so go for it.
And then had to ad lib like an acoustic thing real quick, right, with the crowd while they tried to figure out what blew up. Right, so we're good at this.
I mean, we're getting through, right? We're making it.
Just don't ask me to play Sweet Caroline because I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't do that.
I don't know.
Coming up next on the show, they're going to play a song live with all of the instruments.
It was so this would have been easier with just 2 Dixie cups and a really long string, I'm thinking.
Right. It's so funny though. Like I can turn my phone down. You're just hearing me through my phone. Like I hear you loud and clear.
It's crazy. I don't know what happened here.
Darren, question for you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So Johnny Rab from Collective Soul, like, what's the connection? How do you know? How do you know?
Well, that just kind of happened sort of by a fluke, Like I don't really know him, but like Instagram, we've been friends for a little while on there, and he actually, one of the things we're going to talk about next week is he actually plays drums in an '80s tribute band. As well as Collective Soul. And that was sort of what kind of sparked my interest to reach out to him was, hey, you play in an 80s band? I'm in an 80s band as well because I play in an 80s tribute band as well. And we just sort of connected that way. And then through, a bunch of messages, we got to talking about drums. And then I introduced him to, my original band, Elsie Binks, and sent some of our music towards him to listen to. And I even tried to get us to open up for them when they played at Caesars Windsor a little while ago before the pandemic. And he was kind of like, super gracious and super kind, but kind of, expressed the fact that he really doesn't have much control in like the opening acts at, their venues. So, which I understand. But yeah, so I just put it out there. I was like, hey, I do this show and, I'm a drummer and, we just kind of connected. And then after speaking with him that first time,
speaking with him, we kind of had a good connection, and he he gave me his cell phone number and told me to give him a call, and we'll reschedule another date. And we tried for another date, and he ended up agreeing, and then he had a family thing that came up that his wife had reminded him about, and he had to cancel. So he's been super gracious and super, trying to get on the show, and I think it's going to happen next week finally.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it for sure. So
it's interesting that you talk about being in an 80s tribute band, because like the 80s that's the only decade that gets tribute bands. You don't hear somebody saying, well, I'm in a 2000 tribute band.
Right. Yeah.
I remember those great songs of the 1990s.
I'm in a Chumbawamba tribute band.
Yeah, we get knocked down, but we get back up again.
Yeah, every single time. Every single time.
It's the last great decade.
That's right. I'm in a D-Light tribute band.
That's funny.
I'm in a Sweet Crystal tribute band. We're so much better than the original.
No affiliation to the actual Sweet Crystal.
That's great. Too funny. So I apologize for any of the technology stuff. I hope it's all working out for everyone in the stream. At least you guys can hear everybody okay, and it sounds like we're able to communicate through the magic of our cell phones. So we're getting through here. We're gonna laugh at this later. You know that, right?
I'm laughing. We're laughing at it now. Actually, just so we're clear.
It's good. I'm glad. You just never know. So I love the fact that we've sort of been resilient, and we've just decided to heck with it. We're going to get through this one way or the other. So I appreciate all of you guys for tolerating the nonsense and for being super cool about all this. It's great.
That's fun. It's fun. So besides that, where else can you sit around and drink on a Sunday and chat to somebody? Well, sit around and drink on a Sunday and talk about yourself all the time,
right? Eat pizza.
Speaking of the 80s.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen with you guys once things open up. Are you guys going to try to go back in and get as many gigs and get working and get playing? And are you going to kind of keep doing, writing and getting into record? And, what's your plan once and hopefully soon everything opens up again?
So the answer to that big question is actually yes, right, on all fronts. When I say we, really, Chuck actually does the vast majority of the work when it comes to securing booking and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a group effort here and there, but for the most part, right, it comes through Chuck, and then he's been working diligently the phones. We have a couple of festivals and things like that. Yeah. Sorry, we got some craziness going here. The phone thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's been because it's a weird thing. Like you wouldn't want to reach out to people too soon. Just kind of almost in some cases out of disrespect. It got to a point where you didn't want to be disrespectful almost to ask, hey, are you guys going to do this festival or not? Or
right.
is this fun? So I had to kind of wait for the right time, and you can definitely tell the right time is now. Things are getting organized, and I mean, if all goes well, we, without saying too many specifics, maybe we'll be in Kentucky in June.
Good.
Ideally, we'll be at a festival up in northern Michigan in July, and at another festival back in Ohio in August.
Some feedback,
we at least keep having something to work towards.
Good. I think if you may have to turn that phone down a little if you can.
Q, do you have the audio on?
It's all muted on our end.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, it is, eh?
Turned down, right? I've got me muted.
Okay.
Right, that's just weird.
I brought my level down too in here to see if that helps a little bit.
Would it be easier for me to just rejoin the group here real quick? It takes us seconds. Would you like me to do that?
To rejoin the call,
Yeah.
I mean, we can try and see. No guarantees that everything's going to work at all.
All right.
You know how it is.
I can hear you in the headphones.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Oh yeah,
Darren?
yeah. You could try that, huh?
It's through here. It's through my phone. So okay, I'm gonna drop it and we'll reconnect right quick. Okay.
Okay. I'll just sit tight and we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Bye. So yeah, we've had our fair share, of technical stuff going on tonight, but it is what it is. We will get through this 1 minute at a time. Looks like he's going to try to rejoin. All right, there you are.
Look at that, everybody's back, and we can hear you too.
And
That's
you can
awesome.
hear me.
Yeah.
What in the world, right?
I'll be honest with you, we gotta next time we do it live, dude. Right?
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, there you go.
On that live show note, if you don't mind, the other thing I think that we're real fortunate how we're just all in the same boat. That I mean, in talking to each other, I mean, we are willing to drive 5+ hours to Kentucky and play a show and come on, for as you said, I mean, we got the love for this music, we got the love to play, and we are in it for the right reasons. We are willing to kind of play some local shows, but then branch out and go to wherever it takes,
Right. Good. And for you guys, like, are you guys all married with children? Everybody got wives and kids and
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's
Why, are you lonely?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe one of you guys were available.
Yeah, I just hope both my wives can't hear this at the same time. Trying to keep a secret family is really tough.
So let me ask a tough question then. How is this with the family? Like, how does the band sit? And I know this is a hard question for some, like myself especially. This is a difficult thing for me. I'm when I was married and blah blah blah. I won't go into all the boring details, but anyway, it's a difficult thing. Not only to be a person in a band, in a relationship, especially, married and children and all that stuff, but it's also difficult to be on the flip side of that, to be in a relationship with someone in a band, because in a way, if you take it as seriously as you guys do, it's almost like a mistress in a way. Like you have this other thing that you love and you're passionate about. So I can see both sides of the coin, but from a musician standpoint, it's like, it's honest. I do it for the right reasons. I love it, but I can also see the flip side. So how does this work for you guys? Is it tough with the families? Is it, is your spouses supportive? Like, tell me how it comes together that way. 'Cause it's a real question.
I want to hear James first. Go ahead, James.
Well, I would say in my case, I was fortunate enough to where most of the projects I did were local. So I wasn't on the road traveling necessarily. I was, and the way I explain it is look, this guy disappears for a weekend on a hunting trip, drops a couple of grand. This other guy goes on a golf trip for a week and drops a couple of grand. I'm gone for 4 hours and come back with a few $100. So, it's
great.
Or people in the military. So it's not unlike other types of jobs or careers. And like I said, I don't go bowling. It's really outside of work and family. Music's really the only thing that I do.
Right. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Mark, I think you gave a great answer too in there. I think that's a great answer, Mark. What do you think?
Well, I know for a fact that I married my biggest supporter, Jan, who's been on and off this chat. Has been behind me ever since we met, and this is going on 4 decades of marriage.
Love it.
And she, I have my main project, and then I have Secondhand Mojo, and I have some other things. But whatever pool I dip my toes into, she is right there to tell me that's good. She's with me. We're blessed. We don't have any kids. That's a blessing. Sorry. And we're both retired from our full-time. I went back to music full-time 3 years ago, and she is always right there by my side. So for us, I'm sorry, but our lives are perfect. Sorry, everybody else.
That's great. That's
with this particular band, we haven't gotten in deep enough that we've had to make like those decisions or sacrifices yet. That by any means. From past experience, we hit on this a little bit earlier. I know there was a time when we go back, 15, 20 years ago, where I was spreading myself too thin. I wanted to be in the band, but I also wanted to go at the YMCA and play in the basketball league, and I wanted to connect with these guys and do that. And I was kind of that was a learning process for me, I know, and way back when.
Right.
Wiser now.
Yeah. And Scott, what about you?
Well, I'm engaged to the hot chick, Sadie Key.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not supposed to tell people that gave it away.
No, I have 2 boys that are older, 29, 25. I got 3 grandkids now. So
Beautiful.
Music, I have a full-time job. It pays the bills. So I do music because I love music. And Sandy supports me more than anybody in the world. I mean, we used to practice at my house because I had a facility to practice, and she actually was very upset that
She cried when we moved back up here.
Anymore when we were creating the music, because she came from a musical family too. All her brothers are great musicians. She sings too, but she loved hearing the creative process of like me and Vern sitting out on the patio. He's had a riff. We're like, hey, that's an idea. And then Chuck comes in and throws it all together. So she misses seeing that, but like anything that I do musically or whatever, she's right there. So that's huge for me.
Would you guys all agree that like really means everything? Like to have that support at home when you're trying to do something that you love, and it, isn't it really kind of like, wow, thank you for supporting me in this, because it really is something that means a lot to me. It's kind of who I am,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you don't have the live video stream. We're all crying.
Well, kudos to all of our significant others out there who are willing to put up with us musician folk, because we understand it's not easy.
So I have to say something to my wife's gonna be pissed that I didn't mention. Oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, she's good. I still have to go home, Darren. Don't single me out, dude.
Which wife are you going home to, Vern?
Yeah, one of the not so secret ones.
Well, those are great answers. I do really I love hearing those answers, because I think every one of them is perfect. I don't think there's anything wrong in what we're doing here, and it's definitely a difficult path to follow your heart and do what you love to do, and it's not always easy, for sure. And I appreciate that you guys are in relationships with people that are supportive, for sure.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I mean, yes, that's perfect.
Something you need to tell us, Vern?
I need a place to stay tonight.
Well, it sounds like you're welcome at Scott's house.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So actually, one of the songs on the EP, Scott, at times I would meet him at his house I'd be at his house before he got there for us to rehearse. And so one last song, right, was actually written on his patio almost in its entirety before he finished dinner, before Chuck showed up.
Yeah.
So and Sandy was up on the deck. You had just finished, right? And yeah, so I mean, it's crazy. That's, it's fun to have an extended family like this too, right? That's the thing. I've known Sandy, for forever too with Scott. So.
Well, that's it too. I mean, we're all family.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a band thing. I mean, we hang out with each other as couples, and so it's.
And we got an extended family. We got some good buddies sitting out just outside.
Yeah, they're in the other room laughing at us.
Dennis. I mean, we got a little posse. I mean, it's a good fun thing to be able to kind of, for these guys to travel an hour down to Toledo, and there they all are, and me come on up, and here everybody is, and it's a cool feeling.
Yeah. So it takes a lot of people to get something like this off the ground, for sure. It does, right? The folks that don't necessarily get the accolades or get to play or things like that. I mean, a lot goes into it. John is been gracious enough to let us use the facilities here, right, to rehearse in and to have stuff like this happen. We did our CD release party here.
Oh,
right,
nice.
in the building. Yeah.
When was that?
Yeah.
So.
Last January.
The 24th, January 24th.
And I got my friends still that came up and drove up here with me. I mean, they're still they love that night. They were impressed by it and the presentation of it and just the vibe that John created and
Vern created. So we had a good turnout.
Yeah, there's Dennis is out there, right? Who is Mark's personal roadie, but being Mark's personal roadie means that everybody asks him, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And he's always great. And he's the guy who set up the camera and all that stuff today. Right. He beat me here to the building, right? And I'm usually the first guy here, anyways, right? And then there's another buddy of mine, Rich, out there that helps out too. He does light stuff with us, and really, you got to have good friends, right, that are willing to put up with this, because you can't do it it just can't be done by yourself. It's just not possible, right? And to have all the different groups of people that we all bring with us, right, come together and all get along and have a great time. The party was just fantastic. Everybody had a blast, right? Because it's just a nice get together, right? So, and then we did it again at the pub down in Toledo, and that was insane, right? You know, so
Love it.
It's a good thing. Yeah, it's not just the wives, stuff like that. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that there's a whole bunch of other people that go into this.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you guys have a good support base, and sounds like you have a good fan base. All the right things, you know, to have a healthy relationship in a band, and a healthy relationship at home, you know, and with your friends, and all the normal stuff that you want to have too. You know, that's great. I'm suffering from the whole, like, you know, I haven't seen, like, I'm getting close to almost a year now since I've seen my family, basically, like, because they're all in Canada, right? So I can't cross without the whole like big quarantine and all this stuff. So yeah, it's been kind of hard, and you know, I certainly miss. My girlfriend's over in London. She's, you know, so I can very, very seldom see her, and you know, it's just been kind of a weird time, you know. So I'm not that I'm envious or jealous. I'm actually just happy for you guys that you have a good situation, and you know, you don't have to deal with a quarantine to go see people you love. I'm just jealous. All right, leave me alone.
I hear you. Well, we have my neighbor. These are some fans of the band too, but this gal that we know through my neighbor, she married a Canadian guy that she's known, you know, since she was kids, and they got separated and blah blah blah. But anyways, just the act of them trying to figure out how to see each other, because he lives in Windsor and she lives in Redford. Right, was just crazy. But now they're married and all that fun stuff. But can you imagine dating during the COVID? Being single, right? Trying to figure out how you're gonna do this stuff, right? You know, that just makes no sense. First of all, the idea of being single again just terrifies the living shit stuff out of me, right? You know. But the second part is
it's not so bad, Vern.
Isn't it?
Well,
all right. Well, don't. Right.
It
well,
wasn't.
just well, when we do this in person, you can explain it to me there, right? The two secret families, and no, just I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, I couldn't imagine what these people go through. It's just crazy, right? You know, and it was almost like subterfuge. You know, like I can imagine how they smuggled people out of East Germany to West Germany. It's kind of the same thing, right? You know, except for they had secrets, and now we got the sniffles. Right? So it's a thing, man. You know?
Our bass player in LC Banks, actually, Phil, his girlfriend is over in Windsor, so he's in that same situation. He was given I forget what exactly it's called, but some sort of a pass that allows him to cross, you know.
Conjugal visit, I think they call it.
Yeah, like, you know, I forget what they call it exactly, but it's some sort of a thing where he can cross, but he's literally got to, you know, quarantine for 2 weeks, and he can't return until the 2-week quarantine, and it's a big deal. Like, it's a whole process, you know. I mean, you have to plan for a 3-week vacation if you want to go to Canada and visit anyone, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, to Rock, we'll be out in Toronto. Don't sweat it, buddy. Right?
Yeah. Maybe we can all head over there and do a show in Toronto.
I love Toronto. That's a fun town. A really fun town.
Absolutely.
So when we see each other in person, I'll tell you the story about having drinks with Eric Wedge at the hotel attached to the Rogers Center there.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Here's hoping I get back to see my family soon. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have another song to play. Let's see. This one's called All About You.
These guys have so many songs.
Yes, so many. This one's called All About You. So what do you say we get to this video, and we will come back, and I want to make sure that when we do come back, we tell everybody how to make sure they can find all your music and make sure we've covered all your social links and all the good stuff. So let's introduce this next song. Why don't you guys tell me how it came to be and how you wrote it and the lyrics are about and all the good stuff.
So this is a fun one. So we were rehearsing for a show, and as we do, right? So at the end, we're getting ready to pack up, and it's just kind of, you know, hanging loose. And I had a chord progression I heard in my head, and so I started to play it, right? And then James latched on almost immediately, and he goes, "Dude, what about putting this G sharp there?" And I'm like, "Oh, that does make sense." Right, you know, and then so it was just one little change, and then next thing you know, we're all playing it together, and then we really sat down in the room there that day and wrote the lyrics essentially, right? Which have changed maybe a hair here and there, right. But this one came really quick, right? And the funny part is we played at Howard's a year ago, right? Roughly a year ago, right? Played at Howard's a year ago and kind of debuted it there, right, during a show. And Q posted the video of it, and this thing had like 14,000 hits over a weekend.
Wow.
right? And it's one of the more popular songs that we have.
Yeah.
It's not atypical with anything that you're going to hear on the radio now, right? You know what I mean? It's definitely older. It's a bluesy theme, right? It's got a little bit of a jazz element to it. It's fun to play, and I dig the piano part. So
kudos to Mark on that. So yeah, let me
I
ask
was just
you.
seeing if he was paying attention. Yeah.
let me ask you guys. I know you kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, but when it comes to lyrics, like do you all kind of contribute? Do you how does that work when it comes to writing lyrics for your music?
So the vast majority, right, have come from Chuck, right? Period, right. We've contributed here and there. There are ideas and things like this one and One Last Song are probably the two most not Chuck-centric ones.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But even
is
like
that an official term, Chuck-centric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Trademark.
Yeah.
Right.
Trademark second name Mojo.
Chuck-centric.
Anyways,
brought to you by Chuck.
Yeah, exactly. And friends of Chuck, right? But for the most part, even the ones we rehearsed the other day, we have a bunch of new ones coming, right?
Yeah.
And so we worked on tracks the other day. There's an editing process a little bit, right? But it's not. It's funny because we tend to all sort of seem to be on the same page idea-wise or whatnot. And at times, when I bring music specific to Chuck, I'll go, "Hey, this is the story I heard in my head."
Yeah.
Right. Or this is what I saw in my head while I was playing this. Right. And it has nothing to do lyrically with anything one way or the other. It's just, hey, this is a story I had in my head. Right.
Right.
We played a tune called Powerball Blues that was one I wrote way before the band. But the story in my head was I saw the Keep On Trucking guy, right, going to the liquor store. Right. And that's where that came from. Right. So it's one of those just weird things. But it'll be that kind of silly direction. And he can decipher, the Vernism and make it Chuck-centric.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Right.
And is it the
Which
same?
once you put it in,
Would you say it's the same for you guys with music too? It could come from any particular sort of source, or do you kind of have one particular, kind of principal songwriter, or how does that work for you guys?
Yeah, that's evolved. I mean, the EP, the start of it was, Vern riffs, Vern chords,
Vern-centric.
Yep. And then I put some melody and lyrics on it, and we pieced them together in rehearsal, and then they were songs. But now we're just this past week, I mean, Vern just was doing a riff, and then I kind of mentioned something about doing it slightly different, and then Q and James and Scott just kind of, it just came together there,
Right.
So we're getting into that where it's
the longer the band's been together, the more collaborative the songwriting and the songs are morphing and evolving and becoming their own.
Which was the plan to begin with. When every one of these guys joined, the first thing that we kind of have the conversation is go, "Hey, look, I can sit and write these in my bedroom and then make you do them my way and all that kind of fun stuff, and it's not going to change anything. They won't grow or evolve, right? The whole point of being in a band."
None of us want to go to his bedroom.
Right. Yeah. So see my erotic etchings. Anyways, but the point being is that every one of them heard the same speech. Is like, dude, the whole point is to be in a band, right? For it to grow and to be able to change. Because I've never told James play it this way or play it that way. I go, I like this better, I like that better, or whatnot, right? I've never told Q to play it this way or that way, or
what?
Oh, sorry.
Dude, public face. But anyways, but you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. Because if you start with an idea and it stays your idea and it stays the whole thing, the kernel doesn't grow, right? There's no evolution to it. Sure. One of the things that I dig about Secondhand Mojo is that was the plan. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. And like Chuck said, and James, well, it's evolved over time now that we're kind of doing this stuff. Initially, it was like to get running, we had to work with the songs that I had. Right. But since then, it's been a lot more of the cool stuff. And I've always said, I really dig what we have so far, but I'm really way more excited about the next thing.
Yeah.
Right, whatever that's going to be, because it's going to be cool.
Right.
There's just no way around it. So that is kind of our songwriting process. A lot of times it's silly stuff, and we will mess around at the end of rehearsal or the beginning of rehearsal or whatnot. Or somebody go, "Hey, I got this thing. Can you play this? Or can you play something to this? Or I've got this little ditty or this silly phrase or whatnot." And it doesn't matter where it comes from, as long as it gets to where it's supposed to. That's the end, right?
Chuck always has his phone to record.
Yeah, and Chuck is recording constantly, right?
Good.
Yeah, there's times where it may take a couple of rehearsals to get out an idea, but there's been more than once where we have an entire song done in one rehearsal. We went in with nothing and come out with something almost 90% done.
Yeah.
It's just
great.
Everything just falls into place.
Then it's a matter of playing it live and letting it really get its bones, right? Because until you play it live, it's not a song.
Yeah.
Right. That's a True story, because you should never do anything until you play it live, right? That's been my personal opinion, right? Because to be able to go up there and play through the fear and let it mature a little bit and stuff like that, it really gets strong, can stand on its own, right? Because if you just go out there, I wrote this cool little ditty, then everything's Baby Shark, right? And then where you at? You know what I mean? So
I think that's a great way to look at it, right? Is the band as a band, especially if that's what you're looking to do by design. But as a band, you all contribute something different, and when you put all of those ingredients together to make the cake, without all of those ingredients, it wouldn't taste the same. So it has to sort of come from everyone if that's what the band is about. If you're just a solo artist and you're just looking for some hired guns to play the parts, that's another thing. But in your case, it sounds like you all bring some sort of ingredient to the flavor, and that's what's kind of turning in, and especially moving forward now that you guys have been an established band for more time, and you've gotten to know each other more and feel each other out, so to speak. You're evolving, and I think that's perfect. That's exactly what I would want too in a band.
Yeah. Well, undoubtedly, like if you're the solo guy, the relationship is dictatorial. You can't form this kind of fun. There's always fun, but at a certain point, you're my boss, I'm your boss, one or the other, right? There's a line that doesn't get crossed, right? This one here, they're legit. Isn't any boss. It just doesn't work that way, right? We're a group. We all want. The cool part is, you have to invest in the other people too, because you have to invest in, dude, I trust that they all want the same thing I do, which is the best thing for the band.
Right.
And that's the first part. And once you get over that hurdle and you're with those people, then it all becomes easier, because to be honest with you, sharing songs, even with your bandmates, can be hazardous, right? To your psyche, right? Because it's like, I don't know if it's good enough. And then you get there and then they don't jump all over and go, that's the, yeah, and if they don't go, that's the greatest thing. You're like, oh man, I suck. Back to the drawing board, right? But you can come in here and it might suck, right? It might suck. You got to have some thick skin too. But I'd rather have my shit fall on its face in front of these guys than somebody else,
for sure,
right? It's that kind of thing, right? There just has to be a certain amount of trust.
I have a good feeling that that's never happened. I bet you never once has shit been so like atrocious that it's fallen on its face in front of these guys.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true.
No, our motto is try not to suck.
Yeah. That's so part of that is the quality control process you have with yourself and with the band, right? As part of being a band, and the try not to suck part of it is, right, there's a certain amount of responsibility we have to quality control amongst ourselves, right? I will tell you that I've pulled more stuff away from the bands that I don't like this. It's terrible. It's not ready, right? Than we've had stuff kicked out by any of us. Right. Yeah.
But is that more of your own filter, though, would you say, or is that more of the band's input?
It's actually a little bit of both, right? It's my filter is part of it, because my filter is more direct than theirs is, because everybody's nice, right?
The song that we had, Mexico, that we do live, that's a prime example. Vern, it was a exercise for him.
No. That's Mexico came in.
Which one was it? Well, anyways,
you're talking about the Mojo.
Yeah, the Mojo. Well, anyways, it's kind of a Latin field type thing song, but it was an exercise for Vern on the guitar, and I heard it and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah.
But Vern, still to this day, I don't know if you really like when we play it, but the crowd loves it. It's something they can dance to. Yeah. It's different than probably anything you're going to hear out there, and that's why I like it. Yeah. But Vern does battle with it in practice, because it's just for him in his head, it was an exercise. It wasn't meant to be a song.
It's just some of the stuff we do in my head. I just feel it's just like, geez, this doesn't belong in the same classroom. It's in every class there's a special kid, right? At a certain point, they go to a different classroom, right? You know what I mean? But it kind of is a dreadful analogy.
No, Vern, what do you mean? We have no idea what you're talking about. Please elaborate.
Is our special kid.
Yeah, I'm the special kid. In this analogy, I'm the special kid. Right? But anyways, but the deal is that certain songs are better than others. Just that's the plain and simple truth of it, right? Amongst my songs, amongst the group songs, all that fun songs, certain songs are better than others.
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to be able to one, pull it away for yourself as you go, this is dreadful. But if the other guys go, dude, are you kidding me? The people love this. We love this. Then you got to be able to go both directions. I go, all right, well, yeah, all right. That makes sense. And they're all fun to play. That's no kidding. The songs we play, right? That's the one thing that has to be, I don't know about you guys, but that's the one thing that has to be for me. It has to be at least enjoyable to play.
Well, to function effectively as a unit or a team, you kind of have to put the interest of the band or the song above your own.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put that first, and you have to be super transparent and non-defense. There's just certain tools you need to have emotionally in order to contribute as a team. It's not a like if you hire a team of all star players and everybody's a ball hog, right? You got to have,
You gotta share the ball.
if you want to function as a collective unit, you have to have a bit of transparency.
It's just as important to get the assist as it is to get the goal,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
truth. And sometimes the assist is way more satisfying.
and even
yeah.
more thought out and well placed and well planned and executed. And,
there's an element of altruism in it. You just have to give to the team without,
for sure.
Plus, I think how we work so well together is we all come from different backgrounds. I was more of 80s type, maybe a little bit of Dream Theater-ish, feel more melodic stuff that I've done. Vern was more bluesy, a swampy rock. When I met him, what hooked me with Vern was we had a tune. It's called Detroit Lean. It was just to this day, it was that groove that you did that sucked me in, and it was totally different than what I normally played. So everybody brings something different, and I think that's why we worked, and we didn't settle for putting the right puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to get these guys.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, that's the way it feels. When I think about secondhand Mojo, like that, I go, man, it took forever, X number of years, right, to get to these dudes.
Well, we got Chuck 18 months after.
I'm talking about over a longer time than that. Yeah.
I mean, it took us a long time going through singers to get Chuck.
Yeah.
And then Chuck brought James, and then Mark. I've known Mark for years from the gospel side of music and stuff.
Yeah.
We just work good together, and that's why I'm still here.
Yeah, like I say, it feels like we're supposed to be here, right? And it feels like it took forever to get here, right? At the same time.
Right.
Keep us here.
Yeah, right. I mean, honestly, yeah. And the cool part is that at the end of the day, and trust me, we're sitting here talking and stuff like that, but it's not always rosy. Anybody who's ever been in a creative process knows that it can get dicey. Right?
Plus, we know we have not accomplished its potential.
That's exactly correct. Yeah.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Yeah, there's more cooler stuff coming out every day to us. You go, wow, this is different. It seems more. As it matures, it's really kind of cool, right?
Isn't that the kind of the beauty of the creative we're sort of lucky. Like we're blessed to have this ability and this passion and this thing that we love to do. But then you get into a group of people that all have the same, ideals and the same, goals and the same enthusiasm and all that stuff. You put all that together, man, how lucky and awesome is it? And you see the progression and looking forward, it's like, man, I can't wait to do this more. I can't wait for the unknown. Like, what are we going to create that we haven't created yet? Like, I can't wait for that,
Well, it's amazing what it feels like you're doing when you're all rowing in the same direction. That's for sure, without a doubt.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So let me head over to the chat here. I said cake. Yes, I did say cake.
That's a Q-ism.
Got it.
That's Q-centric.
He's got 2 words for you. Cake.
All right, play the damn song. We're ready.
And Rock is saying another great show. Thanks, Rock. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
As always.
It's funny. This song that you're getting ready to play will be a classic by the time we're done answering the question.
I love it. All right, well, let's get to that next song, shall we? Why don't you tell me a little bit about this one? I know we kind of got into it a little bit, but let's cue this video up and we'll get into this next song.
There you go.
So it's called All About You. Let me find it here.
Yeah, go for it.
There it is. All right, All About You. We got it here. Check it out, you guys. Secondhand Mojo.
You're still here. Your sweet smell hangs in the air. Pictures remind me of the love we shared. Door just closed, and no more tears. All that's left are lonely years. I can't live without the
About You. Great song, you guys. Another fantastic song. Well done. Hello? Are you going to tell me you can't hear me again?
These guys are laughing them off.
Can you hear me? They can't hear me. You can't hear me.
He's right, yeah.
Here we go again. We're back at it.
Can't take him anywhere.
You gotta dial in again.
Do you have to dial in again?
It's not working. Right? You guys can't hear me.
It's the last two.
Wow, this has been a heck of a show with the technology, huh? I don't think they're hearing me, so go out, come back in. Yeah, there we go. He's going out, he's coming back in. Let's try that. I don't want to tell him how great their song was. Who's on first, right? He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. There they are. There they are. Oh my gosh, and your video's working right now.
Is it really?
It's working.
Hey, everybody.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh!
That's what they look for.
Yeah, my glasses empty.
It was working. Where did it go? It's not working now.
You jinxed it.
No, it's working. We're moving. I can see it.
Yeah, but only for a second, then it stopped.
Oh, now it's frozen. That's awesome.
You jinxed it.
That is awesome.
Oh my God, I love it. I don't even know what I did, but I love it. I don't know how that happened. I have no idea. Exit the room and come back. Try it one more time. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we do it again?
Yeah, do it again. Why not?
Yeah, we got time. What the hell? Right?
That was great. It worked. I couldn't believe it. Oh my gosh. This show, I tell you what, I have the technology. Just,
Are we moving around again?
it's working. It's working.
Are we moving around again?
Oh my gosh, you're moving.
We're actually real people. Yes.
So there they are, folks. The real people. Okay,
real
so
people behind.
this is Vern. Vern, say hello.
Hey guys.
And then we have next to you is hold on, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Oh shoot.
It starts with a Chuck.
Chuckerisms.
Yeah.
Less than just biscuits.
All right, and then we've got Mark.
It's a stage name, man.
Mark next to him. I'm glad I'm able to introduce you guys. And in fact, that last song was actually about him. It was called All About Q.
All about you. Yes.
You got it.
And then we got
That's
Scott
awesome.
right next to him. Scott's the drummer. And then closest on the left is James. James is the bass player who I had the pleasure of playing with in another band a while ago. So, all right. So let's get to. We'll start with. I want to start with Scott actually.
Start with Scott.
Let's start with Scott. Scott, I want to do a little bit of a rundown on your gear. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're using and your favorite stuff? And Scott is the drummer.
I got various kits. So bigger shows, I use I got a 7-piece Pearl Masters custom maple kit. I use Siljan A custom cymbals, K heavy rides, China Boys. I use a free floating Pearl snare, a little bit deeper. And if we want to go real heavy rock, I got the big 80s rock 8x14 Pearl Masters.
Nice.
I have some of our smaller, in some of our recordings, I've used the AIOT custom. I really don't like taking that out because it was handmade by the owner of AIOT, so it's kind of a high-end kit.
Is that Ray? Is that who that was? Ray AIOT?
Yeah.
So it's kind of particular to me.
Sure.
And then when I'm tracking at home or something, I have a Lisa's Strike Pro SE kit.
Nice.
So I don't have to deal with all the miking and stuff or just writing and stuff. But
Maybe the rest of us should leave the room and let these drummers talk.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like, yeah, Jared's like, yeah, that's it. So talk to me a little bit more about that deep snare. We all love that 80s set.
I was anxious to tell them about my drum sets being is a tay or tie. Some people say tay, some people say tie. But actually, Ray AIOT went on from AIOT drums to the tie line.
Right. Yep.
Very cool.
Great. All right, let's go to.
Awesome.
Are you good, Scott? Did you get it all in?
Yeah, I got too much stuff to say. I got too much gear.
Let me ask you this:
Gear's
what's
not a problem in this case.
what's your favorite? Your favorite symbol that you have on your kit right now?
I'll tell you what.
Oh, yeah.
The most complimented from engineering standpoint or live production, is my ride cymbal. It's a 20-inch K heavy. They don't have to do too much to it to make it sound good. It's a sweet sounding cymbal.
Love it.
I can beat the crap out of my hard hitting drummer. It just takes abuse. It's probably my most complimented cymbal out of all of them.
Cool. Is it your favorite specifically, would you say?
I like them all. I got a 17-inch K China. I've had a lot of trashy cymbals, but that 17-inch for some reason it's a sweet sounding trash. It's not so overpowering that it just sounds good in the mix. So
cool.
It's probably my two favorite.
Awesome. All right, let's have right next to you. Let's go to Mark. Let's see what Mr. Q's got going on over there.
Uh-oh.
And now we're going into overtime. This overtime segment brought to you by Secondhand Mojo.
It all depends. What works best for Mojo is a combination of good piano and good organ. So I use a Hammond SK1 for the organ sounds and a Roland Juno DS for pretty much everything else, pianos, the strings and that kind of stuff. But it's a much more simplified setup sonic wise. I don't need a lot of synths. I don't need a lot of Mellotron sounds. I don't need a lot of outside the box sounds. It works really well. The songs work real well with acoustic pianos, electric, Rhodes and Wurlitzer pianos, and Hammond organ.
Right.
I mean, so that's really the staple of what I need to bring to make the
But he
Mojo
has it
sound.
all.
I have more than that, but it's
like a
nice.
museum.
I also have a roadie. So I can bring as many or as little as I want. As long as Dennis is around, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
But it's important to have the right tools for the job, for sure. And it sounds like, piano and organ for you is kind of exactly what you need in this band.
And that's how I started out. I've always been an organ player and a synth player. Piano is probably secondary to my skills. But I have to, and my wife knows this, Jan knows this. I've told her that the songs I've had to play with Secondhand have increased my chops on those particular instruments, whereas my other bands don't rely so much on those tones.
Uh-huh.
It's more synthesized and orchestrated and much more sequenced. Playing with Mojo, there are no sequences. Everything's live.
Right.
I mean, so I actually have to know the song, which has taken me years to relearn. And and it just works out better. So my chops have gotten better playing with these guys over the last couple of years. I've seen the difference in the dexterity in my hands, which is really nice.
Great. That's great. Let me just tell you, so I have friend Sandra watching over on Twitch right now. She says she loves the Roland DS.
Oh, it's an underrated keyboard. People don't realize how much you can do with that. I use the DS when I do my solo shows, which is I just started doing in the last couple of years. And because of its abilities, I'm able to reproduce everything my big bands play by myself. And it's not a super expensive keyboard, but it sounds great. And it only weighs 15 pounds.
Nice.
So those are the few times I don't need Dennis to come along. I can actually carry that one by myself.
Nice. I just want to send a shout over to Twitch, some of our friends watching over there. Sandra, thank you. Damon Arkey also checking in on Twitch. Thank you. EBX Aaron is watching over there as well.
We're actually waving.
I see Barb is there. MDB Rocks. And, of course, my brother Kevin, Westmix_EBX over there on Twitch as well. Thank you guys for hanging out over there and watching.
Hey, everybody.
And to everyone on Facebook as well for hanging out and watching. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Who else do we have here? Who's got more? Let's get right over to you, Mr. Vern. What do you got going on your rig?
Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff going on over there. So for amplifiers, I play Guytron GT100s, right? Some FVs and some pre-FVs. Typically on the records, they're through these custom cabinets that they have at Plymouth Rock. I cannot remember the name. I keep forgetting to take a picture because I want them to make me some. But either that or I use an oversized rectifier cabinet, which is like the #1 guitar cab to record through if you're going to do 4x12.
Nice.
I like the Guytrons. They're local now. I got turned on to a while ago. Believe it or not, John Harrington, the guitar player for Steely Dan, right, I played his first. Right, and then I went, oh my goodness, I got to have one of these. Right, it was that kind of thing.
Nice.
and I've played them ever since. So really, to be honest, I have no desire to find another amp after this. I've had Messes and Fenders and Marshalls and every other thing in between here and there, and these ones just feel great. They sound great. They record wonderfully. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Awesome.
As far as guitars go, I play Reverence primarily. Right, I have a Rick Vito, and I have a custom one-off that's a Teletype that was made for me. And then I have some Les Pauls, and then I have an 83 Strat. That's the 83 Strat's the one I did all the solos on the EP with. That Strat, actually, my youngest boy is nicknamed after that Strat. So, and then I play the D Addario NYXL strings. Really, that's about it. Rattlesnake cables we're starting to change over to. James turned us on to Rattlesnakes. I'm kind of going that direction. So,
cool.
But that's it's an amp and very little effects. I use the Morley Bad Horsey 2 wah, Steve Vai's wah.
Yeah.
Right. I like it, but I use it very rarely now for our stuff. There's one or two songs I use it in, but I've gone the opposite direction. In the 80s, I had all kinds of racks and crazy stuff and things like that. And, and I've gone the other direction where, I want a guitar cord and I want to be able to plug it into my stuff and make noise. And that's kind of, that is my setup in the studio, especially. It's just straight to the amp and go.
Raw.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Not a little process, though.
What about, what's your favorite guitar that you have?
Oh, right now I play the Vito constantly, which is a Reverend. I freaking love that guitar. So we've done some shows with Ken Haas and his groups, right? And so talking afterwards, that's how I ended up with that. I told him, I said, I need to come down and check out, these Rick Vitos that you got, and he invited me down, and then I left with one. I'm like, this is just the greatest. So I'm actually getting two more. The wife can't hear me, right? Yeah. So, but anyways, I'm gonna get two more of them just because I like them so much, and because I do some alternate tuning stuff, and when we play live, it's just easier and faster going that round.
Right.
Acoustics, I play Taylors, right, and then 12 strings for acoustics. I have a Godin that I bought,
Nice.
Canadian brand. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guitar player in
it's
the 80s
A12
band has a Godin.
It's a A12, dude. I love that thing, right? And it plays like an electric guitar. It's got a big sound, right? And we do a spot in our set where we just break down to acoustics and the guys sing and I make noise on the other side. And that one just has that great spank to it. It's big and it's round, but it's got great spank and it's a thin body. Can't beat it.
Nice.
So.
Awesome. All right, let me ask Chuck. Chuck, what about you? Is there anything specific? I actually don't know. Do you even play any instruments in the band?
I mean, so I got a Reverend at home. I got a Telly at home. I got a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe that I play those out of. I like Yamaha acoustics, but I got to say I'm not much of a tech gear guy, and I've never been in a band with guys that bought more toys and more gear than this freaking band right here, okay? They're sending messages in our group, and I have no idea what the heck they're talking about.
I like it, don't you?
Yeah, I guess it sounds good. So,
yeah, we have no shortage of gear in the band. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But do you actually play in the band, Chuck, like a musical instrument in the band at all, or no?
No, not live. Like I brought a number of songs to the table,
Sure.
so that's they're in the office bedroom, and that's where my ideas start.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I recalled seeing any of the videos with you actually playing a guitar or anything, but no, I don't think so.
No, we wanted to. I come more so from a cover band party dance party cover band history a little bit more than anything, and wanted to kind of our songs, even though they're originals, they're as Vernon alluded to earlier. They're recognizable. There's some good rock and roll party songs, live fun, live show stuff. So we want to kind of keep that the focus point right now.
Right.
Well, I think too, you're too busy with the crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
You wouldn't know if it's Chuck, you'd look, he's in a balcony somewhere.
Yeah. Especially the one he played
All
earlier.
over
Yeah.
it.
Saturday night, he goes into the crowd like, I wonder if we're going to see him again.
Yeah.
So and it was cool to have songs to bring that vibe to,
Yeah.
That's to have an original band and be able to bring that kind of dance party rock feel, cover band feel to an original music. That was a lot of fun.
So do you have any, like, similar to James, do you have any experience in an original band prior to like what you're doing now?
Yeah, back in back in the late 90s, I had an original group going, and where I was in that case the principal songwriter, and had a good group of musicians helping me out and whatnot. And then actually my project prior to Secondhand Mojo was actually a kids and family band, the Wannabes. we were called.
Oh, yeah.
A whole shtick. What do you want to be when you grow up? Dr. Dan. And I was Dr. Dan, the singer and the guitarist, and we had Officer Allie and Bill Brad. But nonetheless, that was all original songs that I wrote for that project.
And did you record as well with that or no?
Yeah, we got a couple CDs out there for that, and became kind of a regional kids and family. We play different festivals and stuff, but anywhere from Chicago to Detroit to Toledo.
Good. So it's not like this is uncharted territory for you. You've been in original stuff before, and it might have been a little while that you've been in the covered bands scene, but yeah, you're kind of at home in an original band, it sounds like.
And this is the most collaborative one. I was where I had some, in a cool way, people pushing me to a different level than I didn't know what I was the producer. I was the, before, so I had no other ears, no other thoughts, no other buddy pushing me any further. And I found
Chuck's
that
talent,
band,
Chuck's talent is, I don't think he knows his potential yet.
Yeah.
We see it. That's why we grabbed a hold of Chuck and wanted to bring him in, is because I think we've seen a bigger picture than what Chuck's seen in himself. So
awesome.
There's just a lot of good things
Nicely
that come
said.
out of Chuck.
Cool. Very cool.
Very nice.
Yep.
So
plus he had to join the witness protection program because of a gang fight with the Wiggles. Can't we go into a lot of it?
Yeah.
Right. No, he came in, like I say, you were writing day one when we started, right?
Yeah.
No way around it, right? And so that helps, right? I mean, big time.
Good.
So
my buddy Rock over there, he says about the show here. He says every show has expanded into an epic conversations. It makes him miss the brotherhood in rock and roll, and he's right. As musicians, we all kind of have a commonality and some common ground that we can always, if we look and we try hard enough, we can always find something that the good in all of where we can talk to each other and we can sort of relate and it's a good vibe. It's a good brotherhood. Not even in the same band, but in the brotherhood of musicians.
Oh yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and the experience is so similar for everyone, right? As a rule,
right? It really is.
James.
Well, thanks, Rock. I appreciate that. And James, you're the
awesome.
last but not least here with the gear specs. What's happening with you, my friend, Mr. Thunder from Down Under?
I'm one of those guys.
He said Thunder from under.
Yeah, he downriver. I should have said maybe.
We have no idea. From under what? We have no idea.
We're here and you're down here.
Under 94, I think.
Exactly.
I would say I value simplicity mostly in gear. I want stuff I can plug into a bass, a chord, and plug into it, have a fairly, a flat EQ, no more than 6 knobs on an amp, and have a good sound.
Right.
And I don't want a head that's dual channel and has 14 knobs on it, and it's just not, because on dark stages but at the same time, I need to have a flexible staple of sounds, because for so long I was sort of, the guy, again, I could be doing any gig.
Right.
So I had to match the tone and the instrument with the instrumentation of the group and the style of the group, whether I could be accompanying an acoustic guitar player or, you name it, right? So typically with me, it'll be passive Fenders. With this group, I play a Stingray bass mostly, which is an active bass. That's about as complicated as you'll find me in. Firmly GK amps, but I switched to Mesa, the Mesa Subway line, because they're super lightweight. And again, there's 6 knobs on the thing.
It sounds so good.
And it sounds super good. I can,
That's all you need.
Yeah, and cable-wise, I came across Rattlesnake Cable Company. They're a family-owned company out of Montana, and they make the cables themselves using USA sourced wire.
Nice.
Even so. I came across them and checked out their story and say, this is a good company. They make, not only really good products, but they're kind of local and family owned. And I wanted to support that. And so I turned everybody else onto them.
It's great quality.
Yeah.
Good.
They're kind of unique cables. So with me, that's about it. The only pedal I would ever use, it's the only non-USA thing on my signal chain, is a Diamond compressor. That's up from Canada. Diamond pedals. They're a Canadian company, great company.
Yeah.
So that'll be about it for me. A good passive Fender, a cable, and a Mesa amp, and with the EQ set flat, and I usually get the tone I need.
Awesome. Good. And you do a lot of backing vocals too, I assume, right? Because you
I do a lot of singing
together. So
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Well, that's
These are
great,
high
man.
tech.
I'm really happy, James. I'm really happy for you to be in this project, and I'm glad that you guys have
As am I.
all found each other, and it sounds like it's going super well for you guys. The brotherhood is there, the the fun, all the right reasons. It seems to be that you guys have hooked up for a good reason, and makes a lot of sense. So I'm happy for you all. Actually, it's great that you've all got this band and this opportunity to work together in this capacity. The last thing I wanted to touch base on before we wrap this up is let's make sure we let every single buddy listening know how to find your music and your band and all of your socials and any of the pertinent information that you guys want to make sure everybody knows before we close up. Let us have it.
Are we just giving out Mark's address and sending them there?
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be on everywhere. I think people watch and listen. The Facebooks, the Twitters, the Instagrams. One thing I will say is the socials. Our handle is usually going to be the number 2, like 2 Hand Mojo.
Uh-huh.
But then if they went to a streaming site of anything, then it's going to be the words Secondhand Mojo.
I've been having up on the screen the whole time. Your website up top is Secondhand Mojo, literally like spelled out, secondhandmojo.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have also on the screen your Facebook and your Twitter links, and that's where I have the number 2 ND Hand Mojo, Secondhand Mojo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the reason for that was because when we went there, somebody already had Secondhand Mojo.
Oh.
It wasn't if they're out there, we're looking for them still. That's right. There'll be a knock at the door and there'll be Mark.
And that's some
Here's your CD. Here's your CD. Give us our stuff.
So what business are they? Is it like an auto shop?
I didn't go on the back. So, but it was one of those things. So we had to compromise a little bit early on. So
it's all right. It works.
Once we're rich and famous.
Yeah. Then you can go after those guys.
Exactly. Right?
How did you guys? How did the name come to be in the early days?
So Scott alluded to it. I'm a blues guy by trade, right? And so I was a bit. Lightning Hopkins has a song called Mojo Hand, right? And so when I was trying to search for a name or whatnot, and thinking about the direction of the band at the time and what type of music we're going to play, I'm like, I kind of dig the Mojo bit, that Creole kind of part of the whole deal, right? Right. And then the Mojo Hand, all that voodoo stuff and all that. And then I got to thinking about, really all of that has been done, right? Everything in music at a certain point has been done. We're rehashing something that's already been done to make it our own one way or the other. There's not any original idea between 8 notes. It just doesn't work that way, right? There's not. The likelihood of it being that way is just nil. But when you put all the other people's stuff in there, right, it's like we've repurposed all this stuff to make it our own, and that really is the answer, right? Like at a thrift store. So the Secondhand Mojo, it's like, this may have been cool at one point, but when I put all this together with all this other stuff, right, and redo it again, right, it's like stew or like the leftovers in the fridge, right? My parents used to call it everything must go, right? Must go, So it's kind of the same idea, right? You're throwing in there or stone soup soul, right, or stone soul soup, right? Where everybody brings a piece of that to the hobo stew.
Right.
It's that same thing, right? This is being repurposed and it gives it new life again, but it carries the original Mojo along with it, right? It's that kind of deal. So Secondhand Mojo.
Nice. Sounds good. That's great. Mm-hmm. Well said, Mr. Vern. Yeah.
We've been asked that one a couple of times. I had time to develop a cognizant answer.
I kind of felt like I feel like that's one of the questions like you have to ask. Like, hey, how'd you come up with the name? It's like, you gotta. I have to ask that.
Yeah, but we mentioned the fever dreams earlier, right?
Yeah, but I also feel like it's one of the questions that you probably get asked. Like every band gets asked that question, no matter what they're doing, and no matter how'd you come up with the name? So I had to ask it. It's like protocol.
Yeah, I dated a girl named Secondhand Mojo.
Oh my gosh!
Her parents were visionaries.
One of our last names.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
like Van Halen. How'd you come up with that name?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, you see, there was a guitar player and a brother. Oh, that's great.
Their names were originally Schwartz. So their name was on the way cooler.
Right.
So.
Well, good. Okay, so secondhandmojo.com and, of course, Facebook, Twitter. You guys are also on Instagram. I think Instagram, if I remember. Yes. I didn't put the link up. Yeah. But I think it's the Secondhand Mojo with the / or the /.
Yeah, someone knows what it's.
Yeah, the same thing. The number two-hand Mojo. I mean, but yeah, I'm not sure.
And Facebook and Instagram are essentially merged at this point anyway. So,
Right.
you get one, you get them both.
Yeah. So, all right. So good. So lots of places that people can find your music. Lots of places they can find your videos. They can buy your music and on all sorts of different platforms. So I encourage everyone to please support these guys and support what they're doing. A bunch of great gentlemen over here in the band Secondhand Mojo. So go find their music, go support them, and continue to support original bands and original music. It really does, mean a lot to all of the artists that we have your support. So, guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I had a wonderful chat with y'all, and I'm really glad that by the end of it all, we got everything working.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Cool show.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And I look forward to having you guys back on again in the future as more music comes out.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Awesome.
So thank you so much. Thanks. And if people see us out on the road or if they see us online or whatnot, say hi. Say, hey, I saw us on Bands Across the Water. Or I guess in this case, you heard us on Bands Across the Water.
And saw you. Videos and video now.
Yeah, that's how we'll be able to identify what time of the show they started. Right?
Well, good. Well, Sandra says, thanks for the fun night tonight. Great show. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, all of you. Rock. Says, great band, cool guys. Rock and roll. Thank you all, he says.
Hey, thank you, man. It's good talking to you guys. Thanks so much, guys.
Yes, thank you. And be sure to go find these guys on Facebook and all their socials, all right? You guys go find Secondhand Mojo. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It was great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Stick around. All right, you guys, Secondhand Mojo on the show tonight. I hope you had fun. Did you guys have a good time? I hope that word yes worked for y'all. Did that come through? Somebody tell me if you guys heard that, right? Let me know if you heard that out there in Streamland. Thank you for watching the show, you guys. It's always great to have you, the support from everybody. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You can find me on all of the above. Don't forget to check out my band, Elsie Binks, as well. We are all over the map, just like Secondhand Mojo, all over the place. You can find us everywhere. Yes came through. Yes! I'm happy to hear that. That's great. I hope you guys had fun, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. I got another exciting show Sunday night at 7 p.m. Check it out next week.
Let's go. We're ready.
Next week, I got Johnny Rabb from the band Collective Soul will be joining me on Bands Across the Water Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to this show. Finally, after 3 attempts, we got Johnny Rabb coming up from Collective Soul next week. Join me, Bands Across the Water. Again, thanks to Secondhand Mojo for a great show tonight. Pleasure to have you all here. Thank you, Sandra King, for tuning in. Thank you for the compliment. Be sure to like my page, Darren Curtis Drums on Facebook. Be sure to go find me on YouTube, Darren Curtis Drums on YouTube, and of course my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Darren Curtis Drums. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week, enjoying the nicer weather that's been rolling in, huh? Y'all have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday, all right? Peace. Love y'all.
Hold me up to all of you to see your promises you break, you still.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.